today's video is going to be taking a brunette to blonde. Not super blonde, we're doing a very fall-like caramely beige blonde. She's about a level 7 right now. She's got her natural up here, and then her ends are a little bit faded because she has been lighter before, but for the most part she's like a 7-8 all over. So we are going to be taking her a little lighter today and adding hair extensions. So if you want to see how I do this, stay tuned. Okay, so I'm going to be mixing up 2 different formulas for her hair. For the bottom half of her head, I'm going to be balayaging. So I'm going to use Redken Flash Lift, which is one of my favorite lighteners for balayage. And then I'm going to mix in the ballet powder to make it more of a balayage consistency. So I am just doing 1 scoop of Redken Flash Lift. And I'm going to match that with the ballet powder. And then since I am going to have this be open air balayage, I am doing 40 volume. Okay, and since this is going to be open air balayage, I don't want to dilute it at all, so I'm not going to add a pH bonder or anything. If I was putting it in a foil, I would though. And then with my bleach mixture, I'm using Goldwell Oxycure, and I'm doing 20 volume. For my bleach formula, I am going to be using Redken pH bonder. We are only using 20 volume, which is pretty gentle, but we are working in foil, so I do want that extra protection. Okay, here we are just starting our first section. I don't know if you were able to tell, but I did do a zigzag parting just to break it up and give me a little dimension. And now I am going to be using the Redken Flash Lift formula, and I am just sweeping this onto her hair using my Fermar brushes, which are my absolute favorite for hair painting. Sorry, my dog's trying to climb all over me right now, and I'm trying to get him away. Go away, go away. So I am just going to be hair painting right here. I'm going to be doing this on the majority of her head, and then on the mohawk section I will be doing highlights.
Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though.
If you are doing a true balayage, it's very important to remember to always utilize your V's. That's why I start on the outer corners with the V's, and then I connect the middle and blend upwards. This is going to give you that sun-kissed balayage effect rather than just like a highlighted look. So I really like to start with the V's, blend upwards, and then I take my hands with my gloves and I just work my way through blending with my fingers because I feel like that gives it a softer look. I can't say enough about these Fermar brushes. They are so incredible for blending. If you guys don't use these, you need to because they are so good and they help make your balayages even better.
Who am I to let you down? No. Who am I to let you down? Down, down.
When it comes to hair painting around the face, I always put a lot of tension on the piece of hair that I'm holding and over direct backwards. This gives me a very good base to work off of. It keeps the hair tight, and the tension really is so important. And around the face, I like to use chunkier sections. I don't know if chunkier is the right word, but as you can see, my V's are a little thicker, and this is just because I want it to be a little brighter and fuller around the face. And this is the last section that I'm going to be balayaging before I start mohawking the middle section of her hair.
Let me walk away. Maybe then we'd lose it all. No.
Now that about 3/4 of her hair has been painted, I am just doing a mohawk section down the middle, and this is where I'm going to be utilizing my highlights and foils. And as you can see here, I am doing chunkier highlights, a little thicker, a little fuller than my typical baby lights, and this is because I don't want them to blend in like baby lights do. I want the balayaged look, but I do want it to be brighter around the crown of her head and around her face, because this is where the majority of the sun is going to hit her hair, and it's going to look a little more natural and brighter right there. So I am doing this so that I can get a little more lift, and I am doing it chunkier so that I can mimic those highlighted chunkier pieces. I keep using the word chunky, and that's not even what I want to do, because I don't do chunky highlights. I just mean that it's going to look a little fuller rather than a fine baby light, if you know what I mean. So anyway, I am just doing this, continuing up the mohawk, and then I will flip around and do her many pieces. This is how I've liked doing my money pieces lately. I take a diagonal section on the left side and the right side, do a full slice on either side, and then one in the middle, and that way it's true to whichever side she parts her hair and it's not more dominant on one side. So that's what I'm doing right here, and I'm just feathering down through her ends, and I want to make sure that this is very saturated so that it's a very bright looking money piece.
Yeah, we said we let it go, but we settled for the last. Couldn't let you want it though. Who am I to let you down?
Now that I have those 3 slices in for my money pieces, I am now going back to the highlighting, and as you can see, I start my highlights further down the head. So I'm doing it like halfway down the foil, and then I feather upwards, and this is because I don't want traditional highlights up to her scalp. I want it to be a grown out dimensional look with depth at the root. So I am starting about halfway down that foil, and then blending upward is going to give us a very soft, natural appearance instead of stripy. So that's what I'm going to do, continuing back into this mohawk.
Who am I to let you down, down, down?
For her root smudge, I am mixing up Shades EQ 6N equal parts with the processing solution. Now I am just brushing her out at the bowl, and you guys, I have been using this new brush. It is comparable to the wet brush, but a million times better. It is called the Bathpack.us brush, and my friend Allie started it. I talked about it in one of my previous videos because I use it on my own hair extensions, but it is incredible for brushing out wet hair at the bowl. Look at this, it's just gliding through her hair, no tangles. It's so soft on the hair, so gentle, but the bristles are a little stronger, so it's not as like flimsy as the wet brush. I still love the wet brush, but I love this brush too, so I just wanted to share it with you guys. And now I am just parting her off, and I'm just doing one side on the left, one side on the right, and then I'm going to be root smudging her. And I know that this is pretty repetitive for my channel. I root smudge all of my clients, but the reason I wanted to include this is because I do want you guys to know that no matter what I do on a client, whether it's highlights, balayage, baby lights, anything like that, I root smudge them at the bowl. Whether it's a root smudge, a root tap, a root shadow, there is a difference. And with her, I just took it down about an inch or two because I wanted to blend any lines and make it look very soft into her blonde. and then I comb it through so that it does look very blended. And I just wanted to go over this because 6N is my go-to with shades, and it matches her natural base perfect. And I just wanted to let you guys know that with balayage, I still do this. Now for her toner, I am going to be using 8V, 7P, 9B. She did lift a little warmer and within a bunch of different tone ranges, so that's why I'm using all 3 of these shades together, because I want to combat warmth and I want to address a few different levels. So for her color, I am actually rinsing out her root smudge, and then I am going to tone all over it. In most of my videos, I leave the root smudge on and then work it together with the ends. That's what I do for my blondes, but for her, I want to tone everything, so I am just rinsing that out and then working the toner through. And I left this on about 7 to 8 minutes, and it was beautiful, and I was so glad that I left it on that long. Her hair just pulled so warm, and I needed a little bit of that extra, like, oomph that the toner gave me. And I wanted to have like a bronzy beigey blonde, so I wanted a little bit of warmth but not too much. So how her hair lifted was perfect with how this toner worked. So I left this on about 7 minutes like I said, and I worked it through her hair the whole time. I really feel like massaging the toner through the ends helps it so much. It helps saturate into the hair cuticle rather than just letting it sit there on its own.
If you let me walk away, maybe then we'd lose it all. No.
So here is her color after we are all done blow drying before we add extensions. This was during the solar eclipse a couple of days ago that we had, and so the lighting was a little bit off. It was like so dark in the salon, so I was kind of frustrated because I couldn't get great lighting, but I just wanted to show you guys the color we got before we add in the extensions. It's this beautiful bronzy, rich, beigey, honey blonde. I don't know what I'm calling it yet, but it was so beautiful. And now we are going to be adding in 3 different colors of extensions to add to the look. So we are using Jessi Styles hair, and these are colors Jordan and Ashley. Jordan is a rooted dimensional blonde, and Ashley is a blonde ombre. And then we are also going to be using Michelle. She had these in her hair previously to add a little bit of dimension in with the blondes.
Who am I to let you?
I am working with 3 different colors, 2 of them being blonde toned and one of them being just like a level 7 brown. And I am going to be bricklaying them and switching off which colors go on top. I am always using my Michelle's on bottom, which is the brown color, and then I'm going to just switch off doing an Ashley on top, and then the next one I'll do a Jordan on top, just to make sure that we have a lot of dimension in her hair. This is the finished look. If you are as obsessed as we are, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day, you guys.